Good morning and happy Friday. Hey, I just came off of an interview with a lady who asked me this incredible question around burnout. She asked me this question, and I thought that's such a good question. And my response to that led me to thinking about three things that if you're doing this thing, then I want to support you to stop doing it if it is something that you're doing. So, here's the question she asked me. She said, what is the biggest trend you've seen in entrepreneurship over the years that is causing the greatest amount of stress and burnout? So here's my answer. In my experience, entrepreneurs who lead from the heart, speak from the heart, give from the heart, serve from the heart, act from the heart, and maybe that's you that's listening to this right now, because I know that's me, and I'm sure we wouldn't be connected if we weren't both heart-centered leaders. Well, the challenge with being a heart-centered leader, it's great when you are, but one of the biggest challenges is that you're so busy serving from the heart and giving so much from the heart that you over deliver and you overcommit. You maybe undercharge, even undersell, and you undervalue yourself, which puts a debilitating limitation on the growth of your brand. And of course, if it puts a limitation on that, then it puts a limitation on the impact and income that you can make. Now, I'm not about making income just for the sake of making income, and I'm sure you aren't as well. I want to create impactful income, because that's the kind of income that I feel that I've made a massive impact. And because I've made the impact, I really deserve to make that income. And so there's an infinite flow there. There isn't a repulsion to money. There's okay, the more impact I make, the more income is created. The more income I make, the bigger impact that I can make. And it's just this infinite loop, because you can't give from an empty cup, or if you do, you won't be able to do it for very long before you burn out. And that's really what I want to talk about today, is making sure that if there is a point in your business or in your day, or even for 1 minute, where you catch yourself, if someone says, oh, I can't afford it, and you catch yourself saying, well, it's okay, I can give you this discount, or how about I bundle this in, or there's a time and a place for that. But if you're finding yourself doing it constantly, then, this really got me to thinking that if you ever feel like you're over delivering and undercharging for the results that you're getting for your clients, I wanted to hop on and just share something that you can do that I found really works for me when I feel myself regressing back to over delivering. Because believe me, I did it and I burned out, and it wasn't fun, and it took me years to come back from that burnout. And it's one thing to be in a business that gives you so much joy that you forget that you're even working. And so you're really delivering from that place of service and authenticity and integrity. But it's another thing if you're constantly saying yes to things and people, and in saying yes, you're actually saying no to yourself. So, if everything that you're doing right now, and just think over the last few days, right? If everything that you've done over the last few days, you think to yourself, a mental note, okay, when I said yes to this thing, was it a yes for me? Like, did it serve me at the same time? Was it a yes for me, a yes for them, and a yes for the universe, which makes it a triple win? Or was it a no for me because I actually had to say no to myself on something to be able to do that for them, and it wasn't a win for the universe? Or was it a no for me, a yes for them, and a yes for the universe? Just be conscious of it. Just be conscious of it. It's not a good or bad thing. Just be conscious when you're doing it, okay? So it really got me thinking about three things that I do. If I feel this is sneaking up, right, there's a thing that I do. And if I still feel that it's sneaking up, then there's another thing that I do. And if it's still only just sneaking up and I still feel that desire or compulsion to really give something away. Now, by the way, I just want to put a caveat in here, because obviously from a marketing perspective, if I put my brand builder hat on for a moment, of course, as part of a marketing initiative or heartbeats, or you're building a funnel, then of course you want to give some stuff away. But there's a difference in what you give away versus what you sell. And I just want to put a little underline under that for a moment, because really when you're giving stuff away, it's best to give information. So you highlight a gap for them. You help them to see what is missing from whatever it is that you do. So their health, their wealth, their mindset, their money, their business, their community, their tribe, their movement, whatever it is that you do, what is it that's missing for them, right? So doing a quiz, giving a survey, getting them to do something which highlights the gap, like a gap analysis, or helping them to see what it is that they need, or say, if you're having this problem, here are 5 things you can do. Right? So tell them what they can do. Just give them information, but don't give them knowledge, because your knowledge is what they need to pay for. Your knowledge is what you gave your life to acquire, and you gave your life for that, and therefore you don't give that for free. So I just want to put that little caveat in there, because that's going to sneak in at some point into the 3 things I'm going to share with you now that I do that stop me in my tracks if I'm thinking about giving my knowledge away, right? I'll give my wisdom from an information point of view, so that I help them to see what it is that they need. And then when they know what they need to invest in that. And I'm going to come to why that is shortly. So if I feel myself kind of regressing, to go back to over delivering, I know what the consequences are to my health, and the consequences are high because I've burned out before. So I get tired a lot faster than I used to, purely because I've been through that burnout. So I recognize, like, there's a funny little thing that happens for me now. If I get tired, I start sneezing. And I recognize now that if I start sneezing, it's time for bed. Now, I used to ignore that. Like, I just thought I was coming down with a cold or something, but it's not. I'm literally allergic to being awake after a certain time. And I recognize that because I understand my body. And I'm sure you understand your body as well. You certainly understand your body more than I understand your body. But there will be certain triggers and signs that will be happening for you. And one of those things will be when you look at your bank account, there's not enough money in there. That's demonstrating, like, if you're tired because you're working so much and you think to yourself, but I'm working my ass off. I'm doing everything that I can. I'm serving. I'm giving everything. I've given everything that I've got. What do I need to do to get some bloody money in this bank account? Well, there's a really clear sign there for you that you are serving so much from the heart that you are undervaluing yourself as you do so. So here are 3 things that I want to share with you. These are the things that I do that I think you're going to at least resonate with one of them. And if you resonate with all 3, brilliant. And you can go through this process actually very fast. I'm obviously walking you step by step through this process, so it's taking you, well, maybe a bit longer to share them with you, but you can actually go through them really quickly. If I ever feel this sneaking up, I go through these 3 things pretty fast. And by the time I finish doing these, I want to put my prices up, let alone give them something away. I think, hang on, am I really valuing myself enough, right? So here are the 3 things, and just see if something resonates with you. So the first thing I do is I remind myself of the results that I get for my clients. When you focus on results rather than an hourly rate, it quickly recalibrates your thinking around what it's really worth to somebody else's life to be taken through a process that dramatically cuts their learning curve. And it doesn't just cut their learning curve a little bit. I'm guessing that what you do for your clients, it supports them physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally in a way that they don't have to go through all of the pain of learning the hard lessons that you did, and you learned them the hard way. And so if there's any part of you that when you think about the results you get for your clients, you think, wow, actually, this is affecting them physically, because this is how, if they don't solve this problem that I solve for them, that I can help them with, actually, physically, this is what's happening to them. Mentally, this is what's happening to them. Financially, this will be happening to them as a result of those things. And emotionally, the impact this is having on them emotionally is X, Y, Z. So you might think, well, all I do is this. But actually, when you think about the physical, mental, financial, and emotional impact of what will happen to them and how long they will go through that pain, before they work with you, if they don't say yes today and they don't invest in you today, what is that doing to them physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally? Because if you really think about it, you're not just selling a product or a service, you are giving them the gift of life. Because for each client you work with, whether you save them a minute, an hour, a day, a month, a year, the rest of their lifetime, whatever it is that you save them, if you save them any time at all, then you're giving them the gift of life. Because for every minute that you save them, for every minute they don't have to go through that hard learning curve, for every minute that they don't have to go without what it is you provide them, because you've taken them through that process, and now they're living their life, they're enjoying their life, they've got the results happening and manifesting in their life because you showed up, then it's up to you, and it's down to you that you are giving them the gift of life. So please just recognize you are not selling them a product or a service. You're actually selling them the gift of life every single time you work with a client. Think about that for a moment. Just let that sink in. Think of how much life you've already given to your clients, even because you made a recommendation. So you recommended them to somebody and they went and did something the easy way instead of the hard way. You just gave them the gift of life. You didn't just refer them to somebody and do a good deed. You gave them the gift of life. So the first thing I want you to do is remember the results you get for your clients, give them the gift of life. So if you give everything away for free and you're giving this amazing gift of life to everybody in a way that you're undervaluing yourself or undervaluing what it is you're giving to them, then please just stop in your tracks and remind yourself that you're giving them the gift of life. The second thing that I want you to do is remember that when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. Now, I want to share with you a lesson that I've learned big time. Tia's my business partner in the Ripple Makers Mastermind and One Drop Movement. And we've learned some really good lessons over the last 9 months since we launched the Ripple Makers Mastermind. So for the last 9 months, we've been delivering this mastermind and we've been testing and measuring, as every good business does, the results, and in terms of how much we serve compared to how much people invest and are willing to invest, we've been measuring that. So let's go back to when we first launched the mastermind. It was after we'd launched Ripple Fest and we'd done 4 Ripple Fest events. And the way we were running them was we'd do a whole big charity thing for a week and we'd raise loads of money for charity. We'd raise each other, we'd raise money. You know, we were doing really good things for a week. Really high vibe, adding loads of value, supporting them with their business. They were investing just £8 to go through this process for a whole week. It was, I don't know, it worked out to about 3 hours a day over a 5-day period. And we were really serving, and 100% of every £8 ticket that was bought went to charity. And we had great thought leaders came in and we were having a great time. And at the end of that 5 days, we then removed them from the group. And then the next month, anybody that bought a ticket, they went back into the group. And we had lots of new people come in and they bought a ticket and they went into the group. And then at the end of that 5-day process, we'd then remove them from the group. And so we were kind of chopping and changing. And it got to 4 months in. And we had a lot of people that were coming every month. They were like, this is so amazing. Like, I can really feel my growth personally and from a business perspective, really growing. We don't want to be taken away from the group. Like, what do we need to do to stay in the group? And so we asked them, what did they want? And then we turned that into a membership and we gave it to them. We asked them how much they'd be willing to invest, and the average amount came to around 48. It was between 48 and 68. So we decided, okay, we'll go with £48 a month. 30% of that goes to charity. So we're really not doing this mastermind for the money, right? We were doing it for the love and supporting them, giving them what they needed, helping them to feel less lonely in business and supporting them with the next step of their journey. So we start running this mastermind. We had about 60 people signed up to pay £48 a month. And what we noticed was only about 10% of all of those members was showing up consistently. So you got 60 people who are paying £48 a month, but only around 6 to 7 of them are actually showing up on a regular basis. So we thought, isn't that interesting? Is it the content or is it the price? So we put a little survey out to our members and they were loving the content. So we thought, okay, so it's not the content that's the issue, it's the price. So we doubled the price for the next lot of members that came through the process. We increased the price to £98 per month. And we had a whole bunch of members that joined at £98 a month. And it was really interesting. Those that were paying the higher rate, we noticed around 50% of those members were showing up. So now we've got a whole bunch of people that are paying £48 a month and only 10% are showing up. And then we've got a bunch of people that are paying $98 a month and around 50% of them are showing up. So we said, okay, let's just test this. It's not because we need the money. It's because we want to test their commitment when they pay more, right? So we increased the investment to £3,000 for the year. And we said, okay, we'll make it a bit easier for them. So it's £3,000 for the year. They can pay £700 up front, and then they pay $220 a month, I think it is, over the course of 12 months. So that, it's an affordable payment plan for them, but they are invested. And let's see the difference between those that pay the payment plan versus those that pay the $3,000 upfront for the year, because it works out a little bit more when they pay over the course of a year on a payment plan. So we tested that. So the people that were paying on a payment plan at the £3,000 for the year, it's really interesting. We've got around a 90% show up rate for the people that pay on a payment plan. We have 100% show up rate for the people that have paid $3,000 for the year. So isn't that interesting? That we haven't done it because of the money. What we've done it is because of the commitment. And actually we give a massive chunk of that to charity because we don't actually need it. And the whole point of One Drop Movement, that we set One Drop Movement up, was all about giving and, building a business around giving. And so, we really got to the point where we said, okay, so it's our duty to get them to invest more, not because we need the money, but because they owe it to themselves to invest more in themselves so that they're more committed to getting the result. And actually, if we take their money, if we charge them less and we take that money knowing that they're unlikely to show up, that goes against my authenticity and integrity anyway. So we've now put the price up. It's £5,000 for the year. And that's if they pay on a payment plan, and it's £3,000 up front if they pay in one go. And that's not because we're giving a discount. That's because literally the amount of pain, time, wasted energy that goes into chasing someone for money if they're on a payment plan, or their bank messes up and the direct debit goes wrong, or they lose a card or their card gets stolen. I'm telling you, that is time that you do not need to be wasted in your business. So we reward people for that. So they can pay $3,000 up front for the year to take all that stress away from us. But they are going to pay $5,000 over the year if they want to pay on a payment plan, because there is always stress involved in a payment plan. No matter how beautiful that client is, there's always stress involved. So you've got to think about these things in your business as well, right? So the lesson here in point number 2 is the more a client pays for your products and services, the more committed they are to getting the most out of their investment. End of. So when you feel like you want to give them a deal or you want to give them a discount, what you'll find is the less they pay, the less committed they are. And therefore, in thinking you're doing a good thing and you're loving on them more by charging less, what you're actually doing is taking money for something that they are not going to be committed to, therefore they won't get the result. So you're taking money for something they're not going to complete. And that's not a good thing to do in business, because here's what happens. You are going to create a massive amount of resentment between you and the client, because at some point they're going to know you're overserving, and they're going to feel like they can't show up enough. And so they're going to start resenting the product, program, or service you're delivering, which is going to create bad feeling between them and your business. You're probably going to start over-servicing through fear that you're not doing enough, which is going to create even more of a gap between you and your client. And this is the fastest road to burnout for both you and the client. So the conclusion is you really owe it to yourself to keep your prices high. And every time you get a new client on board, increase the price. By all means, do what we do. When somebody invests in any of our programs, we keep them at the price they've paid unless they stop their membership and then they want to come back. If they want to come back, they're going to have to pay the higher price. But we always kind of it's called grandfathering people in. So people that pay that price, they're part of usually the start of it. So we always keep it at that price for them. And then other people that come through the program, they're investing at the higher price. So every time somebody comes through, you increase that price and you keep increasing it to get their commitment higher and higher and higher. You're not doing it because you need the money. You're doing it because you want more commitment. The more they invest, the more committed they are. And here's what happens. When you charge in a way that they respect the investment that they're making, they have way more commitment to it. They get way more results. You can commit more of your time to supporting them because your time is being valued. And at the end of that process, they are going to have so much more respect for you, and they'll have so much more respect for themselves because they completed it. And that's the thing. A lot of the time, the biggest objection that somebody has is not about the time or the money. I haven't got the time or I haven't got the money. Most of the time, the objection is that they actually don't believe, they don't trust themselves. They don't believe that they can complete it. They don't believe they're going to finish it. They don't believe they're going to get the results. So they're already going in with this limiting belief. When they invest in themselves at a higher level, they've got more to lose. So therefore, they've got more to gain. So just think about that. Think about increase your prices, double your prices for the next client that comes through, and just watch what happens. Because if somebody wants something enough, they will always find the money. And the third and final thing is that I visualize my client's present life without me in it, and I visualize their future life with me in it. So here's what I do. I imagine that I'm watching each scene on a movie screen. So I've got these two movie screens side by side. And on the left screen, I can see it's all in black and white, and I see how hard and lonely and challenging it is. I see how time consuming it is for that business owner, doing everything the long, hard way. They're wasting loads of money. They're investing in people that take their money, that they can't trust. They're doing all these things, and it's zapping the energy out of their day. And oh my gosh, I can see that it's literally working the life out of them. And I see all of this in black and white on the left hand screen. I can see them going to their front doormat and picking up bills and payment demands from their doormat. I can see them deflated and overwhelmed as they're thinking to themselves, I work so hard, I care so much, and I make such a difference to the lives I touch. I just don't know what more I can do. There's not enough time in the day for me to do more so that I can survive and keep making a difference. Like, what else do I have to do? I'm giving everything I can. And that's what I see on the left-hand screen. And I see them deflated and lonely and lost and broke and on their way to being broken. And then on the right-hand screen, I see them in full colour. I see them vibrant. I see them showing up on my Ripple Maker Mastermind calls every morning. I see them full of energy. I see them eager to go out into the world and make their difference. I see them collaborating with each other. I see them partnering with each other. I see money flowing into their business. I see them waking up in the morning, and as they go to switch their alarm off, they see a whole screen of payments that have come in overnight while they've been sleeping. I see them asking me questions each morning. I see them getting the answers they need. I see them brainstorming with us, the ideas and the strategies that are massively going to move them forward. I see their clients eagerly and gratefully paying them large amounts of money to keep receiving the change that's being made in their life, because my clients are showing up. They're visible, they're making a difference, and they're owning their life. They're owning their business, and they're owning the impact that they're making. And therefore they get to own the income that they make on the back of that as a result. And then I think to myself, who am I to judge whether someone can afford to receive this life-changing service or not? Who am I to get in the way of that? Who am I to discount the results they get by discounting what they're investing in me? Who am I to stand in the way of their pride when they prove to themselves that this investment was not only the best investment they've made, but this investment changed their life? Who am I to get in the way of that? So doing all three of these things, I know it's taken me a bit longer to describe them to you, but if you find yourself really wanting, to give something away, the first thing, remind yourself of the results you get for your clients. Just quickly recalibrate yourself and remember you're giving them the gift of life. What is that worth to them for you to give them the gift of their life back? The second thing, just remember, when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. If you give them a discount, you're going to take their money. They're not going to get the result. And therefore, in my eyes, that's theft. So you're not actually giving them love. You're not showing them love by reducing your prices. You're actually taking money for something that they are not going to get a result from. So, I'm saying that is quite harsh to think of that as theft, but there's only so much you can do for somebody to go and actually take action on what it is you're doing for them. There's that classic saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, if you feel yourself wanting to reduce the prices, throw in some discounts or whatever, just remember that actually what you're going to end up doing is stealing from them. You're going to steal some life from them instead of giving some life to them. So you owe it to yourself to keep your prices high so that they authentically increase their commitment, their results, and their respect for you, for your product or a program, and themselves when they finish it. And the third and final thing is to just visualize their present life, the grey world, and then visualize that color world. And by the end of you doing these three things, I think that you are going to realize just how much you are worth, how much value you bring to the world, and how much you bring to the conversation and to their life when they invest properly with you. So I'd love to know what comes up for you when you listen to this and when you think of these strategies. Does any of this resonate with you? And if you feel like actually you need some more support around this, if you're already in the mastermind, then show up we do calls at 7 a.m. every morning and 12 midday every day. There's absolutely no excuse for you not to show up and just drop in, at least update me on where you're at, what's happening for you. There might be something you're missing, and I really don't want you to do it the hard way. If you're not in the mastermind, then get yourself onto one of our next Impactful Income Accelerator programs. It's all about creating impactful income. It's about giving from the heart, but also valuing the heart that you are giving. So we've got 3 different programs that are coming up. We run them every 3 months. We focus on 5K in 5 days, really bringing that impactful, your next 5K of impact, bringing that in. We look at your 5 dream clients in 5 days. We look at 5 dream partnerships in 5 days. And we have a beautiful cycle of that every 3 months. And you can join in on any of them. And all you just need to do is go to the link that I'm going to put with this email. And when you click on that link, it will take you through the process, get you signed up, and I'll see you on the next Impactful Income Accelerator. So, my darling, if you feel any of this sneaking up today, just remember one of these 3 strategies. If you do one of them and it works, great. If you need to pull the second one in and that works, great. If you're still feeling yourself sneaking that little, I really want to give them this, then do that third thing. And by the time you've done that third thing, if you still want to give something away, maybe it's because it's the right thing to do. But if you realize that actually it's not a win for me, it's not a win for them, and therefore it's not a win from the universe, don't do it. Increase your prices, move in the opposite spirit to what you feel like doing. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back very soon with some more great tips. Take care.